In the last class, if you remember that we had done a presentation on some important or key concepts required in order to do the next program. So that class was entirely presentation based, which means I did not take anything practically. So I thought in this class I'll demonstrate or show you in reality how those three concepts which we have discussed in the previous class works. And when time permits, or if time permits, I will try to start with the lab record program also. Okay, so let me just quickly begin. Just a recap of what we have discussed in the last class is three keywords: intents, intent filters, and permissions, I think. Okay, so I thought first we will start with intent and then intent filter. I'll show you some examples of how intent and intent filter makes a difference in Android, and then we will go to let's say permissions, how to take permissions from the user to do the program. Okay, so first thing, you see there is already one activity here. I just created a project called test broadcast, and you see that there is one small label there. Let me just rename or put the labels text as something. Okay, then I'll come back. Okay, let me just go to the text of that. I'll just say this is not hello world. Instead of that, I'll just tell first activity, so that I know what when I'm seeing something. Okay, first activity, let me just put it in a bold or a bigger screen size. Okay, so I have kept it as first activity that is visible to you right now. Okay, and I'm going to add another activity to this project. Okay, so let me go to project app. Let me right click on the app and add a new activity, empty activity, but this time I'll name it as share activity. Okay, please note I've named the second activity as share activity. All right, and I also want you to know that there is something below that. Okay, normally I did not check this, but this class I'm purposely checking this for to explain a particular concept to you. This is intent and intent filter. Okay, you can see there is one more checkbox below. Normally I do not click on this, but here I'm purposely clicking on launcher activity. Please remember the word launcher activity. What does it mean? It's an activity which should be launched. Okay, or it will be the shortcut to launch your app. Okay, please remember that. And only this much I've given, and click on finish. Okay, so another activity will get added to my project. So you have main activity, you have the second activity, which is share activity. All right, so before I even go to the design, let me go to something called manifest. This is what I said. Intent filters are normally written in the manifest. So, but otherwise you can also create it programmatically. But what I had discussed was about this. Let me go to manifest. Let me just show you what is happening there in this particular manifest. It's a blank project, guys. I just added one activity to this project. There is manifest, there is application. Inside application, there is two activities being there. Okay, now also please remember, when I open both the activities have something called intent filter. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see this. My project is right now having two activities, both of which have an intent filter saying that they are the launcher. Okay, I hope this is clear to you guys, right? All right, so you can see that there is a main is the action's name. Okay, intent action is main and category is launcher. Same thing is written here. Action is main, category is launcher. All right, so when you make two activities as the launcher activity of your app, what will be the big problem here? It's nothing, right? So let me just run it on a emulator and see what happens. Okay, so please understand what is intent filter and what does this intent filter indicate to the operating system. Your Android operating system thinks that there is two intent filters who say they are launchers. If there are two launcher activities, both icons will be visible on your launcher or the home screen of your phone. Okay, I don't think so you would have seen any app which shows two icons, okay, in order to launch, or 3 or 4 icons to launch their particular application. Okay, let it be any application for that sake. They have only one icon. In that one particular app, you will have various or many activities, but launcher will be always one. So in case I have given two launchers, what will be the repercussion, or what will I see in my emulator? It is very simple. Android system will think there are two activities. Okay, if you open if you see both the activities will be having an icon, same icon of the app. Okay, whatever you see as the icon here, the same icon what you have given will come two times in my app with the different names. Okay, my package is same, please note that This is my keyword or the application unique ID. Okay, my app's unique ID is com.thomas.testbroadcast. Okay, but the moment my activity or my emulator runs or the app is getting installed in my emulator, okay, I'll be able to see two icons which will denote these two launchers. Okay, why are they launchers? Because you have mentioned them in the intent filter, or making sure that the system, Android system, understands that this activity is a main activity and also a launcher activity. Same thing, you have done it for another activity also. So what happens, the system does not get confused. It is because you have mentioned two intent filters, it will show two activities to the user. Okay, so once the emulator is running, I'll show that to you. I hope this is clear. This is what I'm saying, but in the meantime, let me go to the activity share, and let me just put one label so that I know when I launch this particular activity, I'll be able to see something different. So let me just put a text view here. Okay, and let me apply constraints, and let me put the content as share activity, and I'll also change the design or the size of this to be a little bit bigger. Okay, so when these apps get launched, okay, you will be able to see which one is what. Okay, so that's why I've kept it like this. I think my emulator is still loading. Okay, just give it a minute. In the meantime, let me also tell you what I'm about to do. After this is working, I'll show you how these intent filters work. I'm going to show you another thing. Okay, in the last class, when we discussed about intent filters, I told you what it means and what it does. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you with a simple example of sharing. Okay, that's why I use the name called share activity here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, instead of this intent filter of saying main and launcher and all those things, I'm going to create another intent filter on my own. Okay, and I'm going to tell, when if at all a text is being shared, a text item is being shared, show my app as a app which can share text. Okay, that's what I'm going to do once this activity works. I think it's installing right now. So I want you guys to remember the name of my app is test broadcast. Okay, please remember the name of my app is test broadcast, because I've given like that label. My app's name is test broadcast. I'm right now running the app. Okay, it's getting installed in the emulator. Once it installs, you will be able to see what will happen here. Let's give it a minute. Yeah, now it is installed. Okay, and let's see which activity pops up first. Launch succeeded, and test broadcast is right now running. Okay, so share activity came first because now only I gave the label. So let me just come out of it, and let me just see what happens in my home screen. Let me run this once again. Okay, now it's working. You can see there are two launcher icons in my main screen. I hope you can see that, right? Okay, there are two launcher icons, same app, test broadcast, test broadcast. Two app launchers are there. Is it correct? No, it's not right, because normally every app shows only one icon in my launcher screen. But when I inform the system there are two launchers for my application, you will see two different launchers. Okay, so when I tap on one of them, it will open share activity. If I tap on the other one, it will show the main activity to me. Okay, this is what will happen when you use intent filters two times with the same category. Okay, that's why your system recognizes this as a launcher activity. It also recognizes this as a launcher activity. So you see two icons on the home or the launcher application. Whichever launcher application you have, it is showing two. Okay, so I think it's installing once again because I want to show you two different activities in the working here. Okay, so in the meantime, once this is done, I am going to create another activity which is called as share activity, which is already created. I am just going to make sure that my app is registered as an app which can share text items. Okay, any text, let it be XML, let it be just plain text file. Okay, let it be code or something like that. In case they have a text file, I'll be able to share it. Okay, you can see right now share activity is launched. Let me just come out of it. You see there are two activities or two icons showing for my same app. Let me just launch one by one. When I launch this, it says first activity. Let me cut this activity, go to the second one. It says share activity. So you see there are two icons, launcher icons, each pointing to a different activity, which is not correct, guys. Please remember that that's not right. You're not supposed to have two activities which are the launcher activities. Okay, it's not an error, but you see what happens when you keep the same intent filter to two activities. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm going to remove this intent filter from share activity and make it as a regular activity, so that once you launch or once you tap on a particular icon, I'll take you only to main activity. Let me run the program again. Okay, now when I run the program, please note share activity does not have an intent filter, which means it is just an activity. But this main activity has an intent filter and it belongs to the category called launcher and it is action of main. Okay, so when it reinstalls this time, you will not be able to see two icons. Rather, you will only see one icon calling as test broadcast. Okay, that is what is the expected output now. Yes, it's installing. Let's just wait. Now, please note which activity should run is main activity, not share. Share will never be called because I have not linked both of these activities. I have only told main activity is the important one. So right now only first activity is shown. Let me go back. Let me close the launcher and run it again. Then yeah, now you see my launcher only shows one icon of the particular app which I created. So this is the correct way, and I hope you understood what is the purpose of intent filter. To make it much more clearer, I am going to make another addition. Okay, I am going to make this activity as an activity which can receive sharing links. Now, for example, I open SMS in my phone and I copy that SMS, not the forward. I just click on the text of the SMS and copy it. Okay, or I want to share it. Okay, I'll just show you SMS app in my phone. In the emulator, I'm going to open messages. Okay, there is some message should be there. Okay, some is there. Okay, let me just take that SMS and I'll just take the text of that SMS, nothing else. Okay, so let me just copy that, only the text. Okay, I've copied it. Instead of copying it, I'm going to click on this and click on share. Okay, when I click on share, you see that what are the apps which can share. Okay, so here you have messages, Bluetooth, Gmail, etc. is there. Okay, I would like to bring my own app also there, the text broadcast app which I created right now. I want that also to come and in that list. Okay, please know that's an intent filter. When I choose a text and I try to share it, what are the apps I'm getting? Okay, so if I go to gallery, let me just go to the gallery of my emulator. Nothing will be there. I just created a dummy picture there. Okay, so let me go to photos or photos. There is one image there. Okay, it's an inbuilt image. I'm just going to use that. Okay, let me just come out. Yeah, this is an image. I click on that image's options and click on share. Okay, so when I try to share a particular image, let me just click on share button. I hope you know this is the share icon. Here you have Gmail, Bluetooth, save to drive, messages, print, add to maps. The options are different because the type which you chose to share is an image. Okay, and when you choose more than one image, again the list will be a little bit more shortlisted. Okay, so like that, that's whatever you see there as a picker menu is because you have given intent filters. Okay, so how do I do that in my app? I'll just show you in a simple way. Okay, first of all, I'm going to the share activity in the manifest. Please note in the manifest part, I'm coming to the share activity tab. Okay, so in that tag, I'm going to add an intent filter. Please note how I'm adding it. Okay, if you remember the presentation what I took in the last class, you should know that when I give this intent filter, I also make sure that I need to give three important things. Here they have only given two, action and category. But I have told in the slide there are three. Okay, I'll show you all the three. Just open tags inside it. You see there are three. All the three I'll be mentioning. First, let me start with the action. What action would you like to filter? Okay, let me just press Android control space. I mean, just put space. It will give this option. Choose Android colon name. And what are you looking for? When somebody sends, please note, when somebody shares or when somebody tries to send something, we bring this particular intent. In this particular intent filter will be targeted. So I say send. Please note the second option, send multiple. When you choose multiple elements and click on share, okay, what am I supposed to do? For that, we'll create a separate activity. Okay, so right now I'm going to choose one, send. That's all. That's the action. If this action occurs, okay, which category does it belong to? Since nothing is there specific to this, I'll just say default category. It's a default category, default of sharing. Okay, for anything which comes under default idea of sharing, we'll put this. Now I am going to say, if I leave like this, anything will be there in my app. Anything if you share, my app will be there on the type. Okay, but instead of that, I want to shortlist and say, let me say data. What type of data would you like to focus on? I'll choose something called MIME type. MIME type is nothing but multimedia extension or mail integrated. Okay, so here we just put text slash HTML, text slash CSS, text slash JavaScript. Okay, like that we can keep. But instead of that, I am just going to type text slash star. What do you mean by star? Star is anything which starts with MIME type of text slash. Okay, please remember that. What is the type of MIME type of a particular information? Here I am only taking text because I don't want to complicate the program much. Text means I can just display it in a label. No, so that I'm taking a text. Okay, so text, any type of text. Star means anything, guys. Okay, if I put star slash star, what does it mean? Any type. Anything. When you click on share, I'll be bringing this up. Okay, for example, if you see Gmail, if you see Bluetooth, it will be there in all the sharing lists, because through Bluetooth you can share anything. Through mail you can share anything. Okay, so star slash star would be theirs. But if I choose text slash star, I get only things which can share text, not everything. Okay, so remember that. That's why I'm putting this filter. That's all. This is enough. Okay, so if when I run this program right now, my manifest will register that this filter in my operating system. Okay, remember the flow I'm telling, guys. When I run this app right now, my operating system, Android operating system, will register this intent filter into my operating system. So what will happen next time somebody tries to send something which is based on text, this activity will be called. Please remember that. That's all. Okay, and my app will be in that list. That's all I want to show you. Okay, now when you come back to share activity, when you call the share activity, what should I do? That's my second problem, right? So when you right now what I have done will only show the app icon, but when you tap on the app icon, something should happen. Okay, that I'll take care in the corresponding activity. What am I going to do? Okay, please note, even though I've told it is an intent filter, when you tap on it, the one which actually brings from the text to my app is called as an intent. Okay, so I'll have to first get the intent what they sent to me. So I'll say intent space I is equal to get intent. I'll just say get the intent, whatever you have been passed. Okay, and then I'll just put a toast, or you can set the label. I already have a label here. So let me just bring it as text view. Okay, and let me just put label as the name is equal to find view by id r.id.text view. Okay, I have only one text view, guys, so I can easily map it. Okay, let me just check it once again in the design. Is the text view here? Okay, yes it is. Okay, so if you want, you can just name it also. I'll just put LBL result, so that there is no confusion when I call it here in share activity. Okay, it's changed now because you have refracted it. So I said label result will be mapped to this one, and I'm going to say label dot set text. Okay, from where will I get the text? Okay, please remember an intent has been passed to you, and this intent will contain the text what was passed. Text means in normal words we say text, but in technical words text is basically string. So I'll just say I dot from that intent get string extra. Please remember that. Okay, what is the string extra's name? This is an inbuilt name, guys. It's not so important right now, but if you're working in this area, you should be a little bit more focused on. Okay, so I'll just say Android dot, please note inside double quotes, Android dot intent dot extra dot text. Whatever text was passed, the ID of that text is this. This is inbuilt, guys. Even though I'm typing it out, please remember that this is the keyword which they pass. So get whatever you get from that string extra and put it in the label. That's all. Okay, so now let me run my program once again. Please note this does not require any permissions because I'm giving you a choice what to do with the text which is there. I'm not manipulating the text. I'm rather just sharing the text. Okay, that is possible if there is no restrictions in sharing. So if the share button is given by an app, which means they are allowing you, there is no need for specific permission to be taken. Okay, remember that. Let me go back to my app. Now you please note my app is started running with the first activity, not the share activity. I'm going to destroy this activity by clicking on the back button. I'll try to go to the recent elements and clear everything. Okay, my launcher is having an issue, but anyway, I've done this. Okay, so right now my app only is not there. My activity is not there in this list at all. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open messages, okay, in my phone. I'm going to choose that particular SMS, okay, just the text alone, okay, whichever text I want to share. Right now I have only this app to show that, that's why I'm using this. In your case, you can also use WhatsApp or anything. Okay, let me just click on share and let me see whether my app is also there in the list of items which can share. This is the thing which I'm about to share, guys. This is the text which I just copied. Okay, do I see my app? Yes, it is here. My app was not running. I destroyed the activity, but still right now my Android system says this app is also capable of sharing text. Okay, so other apps which are, this is my, I tried this in my laptop, so this is also there. But anyway, this is my current app which I just did. Okay, messages normally are able to share text messages. Bluetooth, through Bluetooth anything you can share, because Bluetooth they have put */*. Anything if you share, Bluetooth will come on the picture. Okay, so anyway, you see that you can just copy it from here. This is the latest operating system, but old operating systems also will show you this in that share with list. Okay, so my app is here. When I tap on it, where should it go? Okay, just look at this. You said when text is being shared, show my activity. So my app, first of all, test broadcast is shown. And when you tap on this, take me to share activity. So let me just go to just click on test broadcast. I'm going to share activity. In share activity, what have I written? I told get whatever is shared to you and put it in the label. Okay, let me just click on test broadcast and see which activity opens up. Please note my second activity, the share activity opened up and the label contains the text which I chose to share from my SMS app. I hope this is clear to you guys, right? Okay, so this is the advantage of intents and intent filters. We will see a little bit more about intents shortly, but I hope you guys understood what is an intent filter. It's very essential to understand that for the next program we are about to do. Okay, so that's first thing. So intent and intent filter is clear, I hope. Let me go to the next part. Okay, let me just come out of this. Let me restart my emulator in the meantime. Okay, so what I'm going to do now next is I'm going to talk about permissions. Okay, please remember this. I'm going to talk about permissions. Okay, what do you mean by permission? Now I'm going to convert this app into the OTP based app later. Okay, probably in the next class we will do it, or probably in the lab session we'll do that SMS app. But before that, I want you to understand how these things work. So this app which I've created, I'll only demonstrate the concepts. On Wednesday's lab time, I'll do the OTP program. But whatever is required to do that program, I'm doing it in this class. Okay, so please remember, when an app would like to receive SMS, okay, and read that SMS and get the correct OTP from that particular SMS, okay, please note, your app is a separate app in your emulator or in your phone. It's running as a separate process. Okay, SMS is a separate process. SMS is a different app altogether. So you would like to request data from another app, which means you cannot directly do it because you are not related to each other. Okay, you are not from the same package. Your app is from com dot some name dot something. Okay, the Android SMS app is coming from a different package. So they both cannot talk to each other directly. You need to get permissions. That's the third concept we had seen in the last class. Okay, I told in theory, now I'm going to put it in practice. Okay, just a recap. There are two types of permissions required. Okay, so let me just recollect that whatever I told in the last class. Okay, and then we will continue. Okay, first type is runtime, install time permissions. Okay, and second one is runtime permissions. Okay, now I want you guys to understand how do I keep this in mind? How do I write a program? Please remember, when you target a phone which is latest, the recent phones, or in other words, greater than or equal to marshmallow. Okay, I'll write that. Okay, when it is greater than or equal to marshmallow, which means marshmallow and above, you have to also request runtime permissions. Okay, but install time permissions are normally written in manifest. Okay, in irrespective of versions. Okay, what about runtime permissions? They are normally written in code and they only work in greater than or equal to marshmallow. It is required. Okay, so please understand this two lines, guys. This is very essential for you to understand about permissions. Okay, number one, install time permissions. Where should I write? I should write it only in the manifest. Okay, and irrespective of any version, even the first version of Android till today, whatever versions we have, you have to write it in the manifest. This does not change, but it is not going to ask your permission during install time. You have to register it in manifest. Now, imagine if you're targeting a phone which is lesser than marshmallow. Okay, the second part is not at all required. Just add it in the manifest and forget about it. Because when you install the app itself, app will get all the permissions required for your app to function normally. But after marshmallow, there comes a small change. Runtime permissions are asked both in manifest plus code. And it is only applicable for greater than equal to marshmallow. This is the code, guys. I hope this is clear. Okay, so which one should I follow? You cannot follow the first one anymore, but you should remember what is happening there. Okay, why I cannot follow this anymore? Because the people will obviously keep moving with their phones. Whenever, see, now when you go to buy a new phone, nobody will give you with Android 4 or Lollipop or even Jelly Bean. You cannot get phones which have Jelly Bean in their operating system now, because all phones which we are getting right now are at least 6 and above, Android 6 and above. Okay, and as the years go by, your older versions will be totally removed from the market. Okay, people using those older versions will be very, very less compared to the ones who are using recent versions. Okay, and if you see that almost all phone manufacturers will stop their software update after a particular one or two revisions. Okay, maximum when you bought, you would have got 5. Now they would have upgraded to 6 or 7 maximum. They won't give more than that. Okay, why? Because they wanted to buy another phone of theirs, which is with the recent operating system. Okay, that's business. So people will not keep adding new operating systems to the old phone which you have. You have to move to the next phone. So like that, when we go right now, we have to target the latest version of Android which is possible, not the old versions. Okay, but please remember, this is important because that is right now added to your current versions. Okay, in the current versions and all, you'll have to write the code in this way. Number one, you have to add it in manifest. Number two, you also have to request them through code. This is the correct way of writing. Now, what if the user is running in a phone which is lesser than marshmallow? Okay, I will put a simple if condition to check whether he is running a device, and then only I'll talk about permissions in the code. Otherwise, I'll not talk about it in the code. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, let me go back. Okay, and like right now, let's say that I want to make sure that this app responds, or this app is able to know that your phone has received an SMS, and this app is able to read that SMS. I hope you guys understood what I asked. Okay, so first thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to ask the system to give me permission to read, or sorry, first of all, receive an SMS. Okay, what do you mean by receiving an SMS? Okay, just to make sure that the app is aware, or the app is awakened when an SMS comes to your phone. Okay. Second thing is, just because I understood that an SMS has come doesn't mean that I'll be able to read that SMS. Okay, please note that most of you would have seen this. If you lock your phone, you can see that SMS has come. Okay, some people would have given a restriction saying that you show me that one SMS has come, but don't show me what is the SMS till I unlock my phone. I hope you got the difference. The first one is you have received an SMS, but if you want to read an SMS, that's a different permission. I hope you got it right. So there are two things which I need from the user. One is to receive the SMS. Second one is to read the SMS. So what will I do first? First, I will go and write it in the manifest. Let me go to the manifest. Where will I request the permission? You can't request permission for a specific activity. Rather, you have to ask it for the entire app. Please remember this. Okay, even though I written an intent filter for an activity here, okay, my app does not get affected by that. Only this activity will be called automatically. But permission, when I am asking, you cannot ask it anywhere else. Please note this XML file is a little bit more restrictive. You cannot type your tags as and when you want. Wherever you want, you cannot type it. Okay, so where you get these suggestions, it's the right place. Like for example, inside this application tag, when I open less than tag, you see what are the things it can add. What are the tags which are possible here? It is shown. Okay, you cannot add your own tags here. So I want to use permission. I want to ask a permission from the app. So I'll come here and put less than symbol. You see that the first thing which shows there is uses permission. So let me just tap on it. Okay, what permission do you want to take from the user? Okay, first of all, I want the permission to receive SMS. Please note what are the other permissions possible. Okay, there are lots of permissions which are available for you to request. Okay, just go through this when you have time, guys. There's lots of permissions to read, to write, to receive, to set, to get, all those things. Okay, now all I am going to do is I'm going to say receive SMS. Get me the permission or ask the permission to receive an SMS. Okay, which means as soon as an SMS is received, send me a broadcast, which means notify me that an SMS has come. Okay, first permission. Second permission I am about to ask is to read that SMS. Please note both are not the same. Both are not the same. Okay, both are different. Receiving an SMS, reading an SMS. Okay, please note that there are two permissions I have requested right now, and this is enough if you are targeting phones which are lesser than Marshmallow. This is more than enough. Why? Because you have asked it in the manifest. Since you have asked it in the manifest, when you install this app in your phone, a big list will come saying that this app wants to read and receive SMS. And you have to click on accept to install this app. That is the old way. But the new way will not work with this. This is also required, but this alone is not enough. You will have to get the permission from the user. Okay, so first thing what I'm about to do here is I am going to, by the way, I am not going to write the broadcast. You remember the broadcast class? 2 classes before I took broadcast with airplane mode as an example. Okay, please note I did two times there. One I did it for old phones, then I did for the new phones. I am not going to do the old phones here in this program because I've already done in that program. Please do refer that program before reading this or continuing with this particular program. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? I am supposed to get the SMS or read the SMS in the receiver. Okay, which I will do shortly. But before that, let me get the permission and able to read that SMS first. Okay, let's talk about permissions first, then we'll read the SMS. Okay, so let me go to main activity and let me write the permission part in code. Okay, if you remember the steps involved, I told you 5 steps were involved. Number 1, to add in the manifest. I have done that. Okay, number 2 is right now to check if this on create or in any particular position, check if that particular app has the permissions or not. So please note the condition which I am about to write. Okay, just focus on this, guys. I'm going to write if. Okay, note that carefully. Check self permission. Please note that's an inbuilt method available to check for a particular permission. Okay, now what I'm going to write here is I'm just going to write check self permission. Okay, and inside that I'm going to see what permission are you looking for. I am please note receive SMS, read SMS. Which one has more priority? I'll say reading SMS has more priority. So I'll not check both receiving and reading. If I'll just check reading, if the reading permission is not given, I'll request both. Okay, so let's do that shortly now. I'm going to write what permission do I want. I'll go to manifest and look for a permission called read SMS. Okay, please note this entire thing is only one side, left hand side. Right hand side is not written yet. Remember this. If check self permission for reading SMS is not equal to, I'll press control space. Okay, and you get two options on the top: permission denied, permission granted. I've written not equal to, so I'll say not equal to granted. Okay, please read this question or this if condition and try to understand this, guys. If check self permission read SMS is not equal to granted, okay, what am I supposed to do? So before I even proceed, please do, there's an error, and never proceed with your code till you fix the error. So let me just click on this and let me see what are the options I have. I have two options. Major two options are there. Number one, add an annotation saying requires API marshmallow. Okay, that's also possible. Okay, but I want to make it a little bit more clearer to the user who reads this code. So I'll write it the second one, surround with an if condition. What if condition? Let me just click on it. You see, I told you in the previous class that I will not be typing that code. It was automatically added. You see, it was engulfing my current code saying that if the build version is greater than equal to M, in other words, marshmallow and above. Okay, if it is greater than equal to marshmallow, then you do this code. Otherwise, it's not required. So I'll not write else part at all. If it is if it comes to the else part, which means it is lesser than marshmallow, so don't do anything, just come out of the if condition. Okay, it's a simple if. This is also a simple if the permission is not granted, then you have to do something. If it is granted already, don't do anything. Okay, that's why these if conditions are simple. All right, now inside this, how do I request permission? Okay, let me just type the word request permissions. Okay, so please note there is no method called as request permission singular. There is no method. It just gives permissions plural. Okay, so since it is plural, you see what are the parameters I'm supposed to pass to that particular thing. Okay, since it is plural permissions, string array and one request code. Okay, I've discussed this in the previous class. Please do refer that. So I'll not take much. I'll just tell about two permissions I want. What are the two permissions? Receive SMS, read SMS. So I want to type new string array. Okay, value is nothing but manifest dot permission dot receive SMS. I want both the permissions. This is officially how we are supposed to call it. Manifest dot permission dot read SMS. Okay, I've taken two permissions. Next one is the request code. Okay, now in the PPT what I showed, I put 1, 2, 3. Okay, but it is not recommended to keep it like that, guys. Okay, normally I recommend you to create another final variable. Okay, let me create PSFI. Okay, when I type PSFI, you see public static final int will get generated. I just give a name. Full caps you have to give because it's a constant. So I'll just say request code or SMS underscore request underscore code is equal to give some number. Okay, this is the professional way of doing it. What I showed you in the PPT is a simpler way of for us to just learn, but this is the professional way, creating a constant value with a particular number or so. Okay, it cannot be repeating, the number should be different. Okay, and then pass that constant value here. So I'll just call SMS request code. Done. I hope this is clear to you guys, right? This is one way of writing it. That's all. That's the first step. I've not done the last part now. The first part is requesting the permission if the permission is not granted. If there is no permission, request permission. So what you'll see in front, you'll see one dialog saying that this app wants to access, read, send and read SMS and all those things. One message will come. Okay, you have two choices there, allow, deny. So how will I know which one the user clicked on? If he clicked on allow, I want you to show something. If he clicked on deny, I want you to show another toast. How do I do it? Come out of the on create. Let's write another method. We'll call it as on request. I showed this also in the class. So just check that code on request permission. Okay. And we'll say on request permission result. Okay. When error comes like this, just move your mouse there and see what is the option it gives you. Okay, it gives one option. Just click on it and say add annotation. Okay, just click on add annotation. If at all you get this error, most of the systems will not show this error, but if it shows, just click on add annotations to the class path. Okay, once you do that, system will build it once again and remove that error for you. Okay, but I'm not focused on that error because that will be different to different operating systems and different Android IDEs which you use. Okay, but look at what and all is passed to us. Okay, that's all. Number one, request code is passed. What is request code? What I passed here. This is the request code that is passed. Second, what is passed? Let me scroll. Second, it is passed. What are the permissions you requested? An array of permissions which you have requested. Same string array, that is also passed. Last one is a little bit more important for us. What is the result of the permission? Whether it was accepted or allowed or denied. Okay, say for example, I have requested receive and read. Okay, so 0 and 1 receive and read. Receive and read right now is being merged as one request of send and receiving SMS. Okay, that I'll show you shortly now, but that's a result which comes with a number 0 or 1, whether it is granted or not. Okay, so it will come like this. So I have all these things in this method. I only typed this much. Just remember this. I just typed on request permissions result. That's all I typed. Okay, and this block of code has come to me. How do I write? How do I know which one was clicked and which one was allowed, or whether it was denied or not? So I'll just start with a simple if condition. I'll write if request code is equal to that SMS request code what I created. Okay, why am I writing this? I'm making sure that one activity or one app can request a lot of permissions. Okay, I am mapping these permissions to this particular number. So I'm using that. I'm checking whether that is the request code. And then one more if condition. If you can write everything in one line, but I'm just nesting it for your understanding. Okay, I'm going to say grant results. That's the last one which I showed you. The result of that particular requesting permission of 0. The first item, first answer, if it is equal to, okay, permission granted. That's what I'm looking for. Permission underscore granted. Okay, and if the suggestions are not coming properly, just call the package manager. That's the name. Actually, it's there already here. You can just copy paste this also, but look at the one which calls it is package manager dot permission granted or denied. If it is granted, means it will be 0. So I'm just saying if it is granted, then show a toast. I'll just show a toast saying that read SMS permission or SMS permission given. I'll just put SMS permission granted. Okay, else. When will it come to the else part? If the permission has been denied. So I'll put the toast once again and I'll say SMS permission denied. That's all. Okay, so that's all is the procedure which you guys are supposed to follow when it comes to permission. I hope this is clear. Okay, I've just used a simple SMS and thing as an example. As your program progresses, you will find you will have to ask a lot of permissions and a lot of complicated permissions. Let me run this program and check. Okay, so let me run this app. In the meantime, when it is running, please note that what I created here is not compulsory. You can obviously create your own number and directly pass the number here. Okay, and you can pass a lot of requests to the same. In the same request code, you can pass a lot of permissions result. Okay, one more thing I wanted to tell you guys is that when you're passing this many information, right now I am saying receive SMS, read SMS. Okay, please note I have not requested the permission to send SMS, but when the permission dialog comes, the dialog is constant. Even if you just ask permission to receive SMS, the dialog will say that this app wants to send and receive SMS. Okay, so let me just go back to the ID right now, or the emulator right now. Please note what have I written in on create. On create, I have told if it is greater than equal to marshmallow. I am running a latest version of the Android phone. Okay, so I'm getting a message because if condition, the first if condition is satisfied. It is greater than marshmallow because I'm running Android 11. Okay, and then if check self permission read SMS is not equal to granted. I have not granted any permission. So you see what am I getting when I run the program? Request permission. That dialog is coming up. Okay, allow. The one which is in bold is my app's name. Please note that. My app's name is test broadcast to send and view SMS messages. Please note I did not request the permission, but the dialog will still say send and view SMS. Anything with respect to SMS, the dialog message will be the same. So you have to click on allow. If you clicked on deny, what will happen? Let me click on deny and see what will happen. Okay, I clicked on deny. I'm not getting an SMS. Log. Okay. All right, let me run the activity once again. When I run the activity once again, please note it will surely ask for the permission again because it's not granted yet. So let me just open my app or launch my app once again. Again, it asks for permission. Let me click on allow this time. Okay. I will check what is the issue with the toast a little bit later, but let me just go back to my app settings and see what are the permissions my app has. Okay, so let me just long press app info. Okay, it's still saying, yeah, okay. One permission was asked. No permissions are denied and SMS permission is allowed. Okay, please note what to do with the SMS. It's not shown. It just says SMS access for this app. That's all. General category. But specifically, I asked only two permissions, reading and receiving SMS. Okay, so I think I'll have to fix the toast issue. I'll fix that shortly. Okay. But before that, let me also write. Once I've got this permission, I can go to the manifest. I think the time is up. So I'll just tell you what I'm supposed to do next class. I will try to add a receiver, a broadcast receiver, and wait for an SMS to come to my phone. And once an SMS has come to my phone, I should be able to read that SMS and bring the content of that SMS to my app and try to read that SMS. That's all I'm going to do in the next class. And the following class, we'll try to read that SMS, get only OTP from that and put it in my text box in the app. Okay, so we are going step by step. Please do check this program in your laptop, in your system to find out whether this code works really. Okay, and this should work only in phones which have greater than equal to marshmallow. Okay, lesser phones, you won't see this dialog coming up. This will be totally closed, not required at all in older phones. Okay, with this, I'll stop for today. If you have any questions, please do ask.